Hey guys, Shane here from AMain and very happy to be back with you with Tech Talk Tuesday. This is episode number 3 and today we're going to be doing a couple of setup tips, tricks and tools that you're going to be needing for your bag to get you set up for race day. I'm going to try and keep this one nice and short. I noticed a couple of my other videos were a little bit longer, so I want to endeavor to make them a little bit shorter and easier for you guys to watch. So I'm going to be working on my Nitro Buggy over here today. This is the S-Works S35-2 Evo and this over here is the B5 RC10 rear mount edition. It's one of my older buggies. So I'm just going to be showing you a couple of setup tips and tricks. So let's put the Nitro to one side and let's get started off with the electric. Most people, first question that I ask is there's no body pins on my 10 scale vehicle. How do I remove the body? Now most of these are going to remove with Velcro and you'll see in a minute these cars are going to be a little bit different. They've got a couple of pins. In this car, as you can tell, I'm running the ProTek servo. I've got the 100T servo over there. I'm also running the ProTek LiHV battery, and I have the McLaren Max Pro ESC 160 amp over there. I've got it in stock setup currently, and the reason why I've left it like this is actually I'm about to be putting it into a mid-mount motor. I wanted to do some testing, but before I did, I wanted to show you guys these setup tips and tricks. Now on the battery terminals, as you can see with most electric vehicles, they're going to be coming out just like this. And one of the biggest calls that I get every single day telling me that we've caused a problem is when somebody says, blue smoke has come from my ESC. And the first thing that I will ask them is, did you accidentally plug in your wires in reverse polarity? Because this can be very bad for your ESC. It can in fact be instantly fatal and can also knock out your receiver as well as your battery as well as your servo. So be aware guys that when you plug these battery terminals in, and I mentioned it in the charging video as well as in the battery video, that this is something that you want to look out for. So I'm going to show you a tip, trick or tool today to make sure that you guys don't plug your ESC in the wrong way around. So very simply put over here, as you can see, the red and the black wire, in my case, is very easily put over here. You can see that the positive and the negative are on the right sides of the terminal. And for my reference over here, I've put some red heat shrink on the end of the McLaren ESC. This one actually comes as stock as such, so they've done that for you to avoid that. Now with most of you guys, you're going to be running the B5M, you're going to be running something possibly maybe the Kyosho, maybe you're going to be running a couple of other buggies over there, and most of the buggies actually have a side mounted battery. And this is where this tip, trick or tool is going to come in for you today. Let me get this battery clamper out of the way. There we go, carbon fiber battery strap. Let's get that out of the way. And most of you are going to be like this. Now when you do this, and you'll see over here, you're actually going to be trimming your ESC wires. One will be shorter than the other. So your black one, as you can see, will be longer than your red in this particular instance. This will prevent you from ever being in a rush, coming down to the track, throwing your car down quick and just plugging it in, because the red wire literally cannot reach the black wire. So that's a really good way for you to stop yourself from wiring your ESC up in reverse polarity. Some people say, well, what if I put my battery in the wrong way around? Well, that's absolutely fine. You put it in the wrong way around, the red one still can't reach the red, but the black's now way too long. So you'll instantly see that. So that will definitely save you from frying your ESC, guys. So make sure that you trim those battery wires to the correct length. As you can see in this particular case, it's not going to help me because they are the same length. And as you can see over there as well, I have installed in mine absolutely no switch. So that's why I turned the car on when I touched that just a second ago. So another tip, trick or tool for you guys, a lot of the new batteries are going to be running 5mm bullets, but the old batteries run 4mm bullets. So instead of putting new bullet connectors onto your ESC, which unfortunately most of the pros will recommend because they only run 5mm bullets, you can get one of these bullet reducers. I'm going to put the link down below for you. It literally just takes it from a 4mm, which this bullet connector is, and just sizes up to a 5mm so that it fits correctly. Now why'd we go to 5mm? Slightly larger surface area is going to give us better conductivity, so that's why they went to 5mm. But as you can see over there, a perfect join all the way around. Is it advantageous to go 5mm here to 5mm there? Of course, there's less metal, less resistance is better for you. But of course, if you're jumping between batteries that are 4 and 5mm on the inserts, this certainly is going to save you a lot of time, definitely a lot of hassle. I keep these on my buggy and I have one on my charging lead, and that sorts that out completely. So there we go, that's the setup tool and trick for your 10 scale buggy to stop you from blowing your ESC. Now with both the Nitro and the electric, we're going to be looking at over here a tip, trick and tool, and right now I'm going to be looking at the ride height gauge. Over here is a very simple ride height gauge. On the one side over here, as you can see very clearly, is marked the ride height itself, and very simply all that this does over here is slide up to a particular ride height. Now this next little bit that I'll show you is my own personal way to do this. There are lots of ways to do this, but there's no right or wrong way. Some people are going to say that you want to measure your car literally by taking it and putting it down on the ground and pressing it down so it sits into its stance. Some people say that you will drop it. I've done a combination of both, and really you can decide for yourself which is going to give you a true ride height. Personally, I do prefer to drop my vehicle from about 3 feet in the air straight down onto the table. I'm not going to do it now because I've got a nice clean white table over here. And once it drops and it sits into its position, which as you can see would look something like that, we'll go in here and first we can measure ride height. So let's go ahead, and as you can see the buggy's busy coming up now, so that's roughly where our ride height is. So we're at about 21, 22 millimeters. So now we want to make sure that the buggy is the same all the way around. So again, we're going to set the buggy in its stance. You're going to come under the front over here, and we're going to lift it up just a little bit until you see the buggy move. There we go, the buggy has moved. So we're at about 23 in the front, and let's go again. And see over here under the back. There we go. And we're much lower in the back. So I need to do some adjustments over here, and this may well be why my buggy has been pushing out of the corners. So that's very, very, very important that we check these setups. A lot of people are going to say to me, well, Shane, it's such a small car. Can such a small change on such a small car make such a big difference? Yes, it truly can. So you want to be checking both your ride height, and the other thing that you also want to be checking, guys, is going to be your camber. And as you can see, your camber over here, very crudely put, this goes flat on the surface like so, and you just pull this in or out. Now, of course, in is going to be a positive camber, out is going to be a negative camber. So this being said, this is all red on the side just over there, and you can see those numbers over there. I want to set mine, let's say, for example, let's slide it all the way up. Let's go to 2 degrees camber in. Again, you set your buggy into its stance, you let it stand up, and you bring this over to the side, and you can see mine is probably going to be a little bit more aggressive. I like my camber a little bit more in. I probably set these at about 3, and I'd expect that they'd probably still be right. And there you can see that. So what you're going to do, you set your little indicator over here to go up to number 3 over there, and then what you do is you simply slide it up to the wheel. If you need to get the wheel to come in a little bit more, you're going to go ahead and wrench on this one over here, and this is going to bring your your turnbuckle out. It's going to move the wheels out as they become bigger, and as you make that smaller, it's going to bring the wheels in again. Inward camber, roughly speaking, I would say between 0 and 2 degrees inward camber will give you a little bit better corner traction and stability. It's really good for generating corner speed, but keep in mind, you go too much camber, you're going to start breaking things and also wear your tires badly. Most tracks demand anywhere between a 0 and a 3%. A 3 degree negative camber. But what you guys really want to check for those ride heights and for the cambers, you want to check your local tracks, because each track and each car is going to differ very specifically, and the setup is going to be very, very, very specific for your track. So make sure that you check with the guys that are running down there. If you need some help for setup, you know, you can always call us on the phone, 1-800-705-2215, and we're happy to help you guys out, and we can help to advise you from anything from the tires to the camber to the ride height, and so on and so on and so on. So those are 2 really good tips and tricks over there. These 2 that I actually showed you over here, they're one of our more inexpensive units, and that's why I've chosen these. I do highly recommend these for our beginner racers. I'll drop a link down there below for you guys so you can get these as well, along with one other essential bit of equipment which most people don't actually realize is so essential, which quite simply is just a little car stand. Now, why is a car stand so important? Well, very simply put, a lot of the stuff that you work on the car, you're going to want suspended like this. It's just a lot easier to work on the car. You can now remove parts of the vehicle. You also have a place to put in the top over here. You've got little screw sections where you can drop your screws in there. So again, I'll drop that link down below for you. Also, make sure that you store your car on a car stand, and this is why I love my car stands, because if you leave your car sitting for an extended period of time, your tire foams, the inserts of these foams will get a flat spot, and that will cause your wheel to become unbalanced, and this will destroy your tire over the long run. I do this both with my 8-scale buggy. As you can see, I carry it around on its starter box, and with my 10-scale buggy, I keep it on this little stand over here. It will save you time in tires, it will save you time in mounting, it will save you money as well, so that is definitely something that you want to get. Again, I'll put the link down below for this little stand over here. Alright, so that brings us to the end of the 10-scale side over there. If you want a little bit more help on the setup and all that sort of stuff, chat in, email me, give us a call, always happy to help. Alright, so let's put that one side and let's go over here now. My Nitro Buggy is busy coming up right now. I'm busy doing a couple of repairs, so you'll notice that the, where's the other handle? There we go. Oops, it's stuck. Okay, there we go. So you'll notice that I don't have an engine inside this one over here right now. So that is supposed to be like that. So as you can see over here, this one, much easier. Most people over here are going to be taking their clips out, and that is how you remove the nitro body. Pretty simple, normally a clip in the front, normally a clip in the back, normally very easy to do. These little bad boys though, go missing, go missing, go missing, all day long, every day. And if you're anything worth your weight in salt or gold down at a racetrack, you've probably got a load of spares of these, but I'm sure you hate buying them too. So what I do with mine is I quite often bring them over and just pop them straight onto the wing. Again, it's just a personal preference. When I'm ready to go and run, or if I pick my vehicle up, or if I'm doing anything, I'm not going to lose anything at all over there. So I like to stick mine on the wing. It's a trick that I learned from one of the pros. And another trick that I've learned from one of the pros also is how to make your own little grips or attachments onto your pins over there. This can also work for your tank pull, and I'm going to show you how it works. Very simply put, you just take a cable tie, which is one cable tie over here, you loop it around, you tie it around this, you pull it tight with the excess, you take another head from another clip tie, and you bring it down with a bit of fuel tubing. There we go, just a simple fuel tubing. Mine happens to be colored this time. Just take a bit of fuel tubing, you cut it off, and you put it on there. It makes it very easy for you to be able to grab those and pull them off very quickly. If you're in a race and you're in a hurry and these clips are on, I can tell you they can take valuable time and valuable seconds. If you're flamed out or if you're broken out and your teammate and your pitmate needs to work on your car, these little clips and tricks will definitely save you quite a bit of time and hassle trying to get the body off and trying to get back up and running. All right, so I also mentioned that this can be used for a tank pull. You can see over here, very important that of course when you're filling up the fuel for your nitro vehicle, you're going to be able to grab that tank pull from the inside. It's quite obscured, so it's hard to come in here to try and grab this little lid. And also if you're going to be trying to grab that, you've got to get the fuel in there. Most likely you'll make a mess or maybe not fuel the car up properly. I have a tank pull, as you can see, but very, very, very easily, had I not had one on this part of the vehicle over here, you can again just insert a cable tie in there and make another one of these, which are going to go around and stick out the front like so, and you'll very easily then be able to access your fuel tank like that. All right, so on the nitro side, that's really the end of it, except for I have one little secret weapon which is really going to save you guys a lot of time and hassle. As the guys that run nitro know, you have inside over here your receiver pack, and that receiver pack is going to have a balance cord which sticks out over here, and also it lives inside over there. And you have another bit of wire over here which I have hidden this time, so it normally sticks out, and that's normally how you charge your battery. Now this being said, what you can do if you want to is have that little adapter hanging out, but the more that you hang out in the buggy, the more likely that you're going to be breaking something. So I try and expose as few parts of my car as possible. For that reason, I've made just my balance cord hangouts over here, and ProTek have come up with a great little idea over here. And you actually take this particular adapter over here, which goes straight over to your charger, to two 4mm bullets and a 4S connector, and this connects directly up to your battery. So you connect that in there. Look at how nice and long it is. And there we go. You plug it into my charger, and now we can charge. Now the benefit of doing this is it's going to save you hours and hours and hours upon accumulated time putting together of just the minutes of you taking this out, taking the battery out, taking the battery tray out, charging it, coming back and putting it all back in again. Because this little adapter can charge directly via just this port. So that is a huge, huge, huge benefit for us over there. So make sure that you get yourself one of those. Again, the link will be down below. Alright, so guys, that brings us to the end of our tech tips and tools today for episode number 3. If you have any questions or queries, please drop a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and comment as well if you have anything else to say. And please, guys, I really want to know. I haven't decided what my next video will be yet. So now this one is going to be up to you guys. I want to see, do you guys want to do a video on servos? Do you want to do a video on motors? Or do you want to do a video on ESCs? And what would you like to know about those 3? Because those are the next 3 subjects I want to cover. But I want to make sure that I'm catering to you guys, because the videos are not for me. They're for you guys to learn. And I want to make sure that number one, that you guys get the information when you need it, and also the information that you need. So if you have a specific question, please like, comment, share down below. Let me know, or call us up if you need any additional help. Again, guys, here's Shane from AMain with your Tech Talk Tuesday, episode number 3, signing out. You guys have a lovely day. We'll see you down at the racetrack.